Hi y'all, this is House Guest and I am your host, Kenzie Elizabeth. Think a Gen Z wannabe Martha Stewart meets Dolly Parton trying to live in a Nancy Meyers movie in her 20s. We talk all about life, relationships, and navigating your 20s, closing out the bars, or waking up at 5 a.m., depending on our vibe that week. Ultimately, living our best lives and figuring it out along the way. So come hang out. Sometimes I have guests on who do really cool things, some of my best friends, or it's just me and my house that I spend way too much time in. So let's get into the show. We have today what is easily the funniest podcast episode I think I've ever recorded. We have Tyson French on the show. This is actually a podcast swap. His episode actually already went out, so we will link that below. And it's also on YouTube, just like this podcast is. So if y'all haven't already started watching us on YouTube and subscribing to our YouTube channel, be sure to go do that. I'm talking to y'all right now on here. Anyways, today's episode is the funniest episode we've ever recorded. It's because Ty is the literal funniest person in the entire world. So I will not hold you guys up. It's amazing. These are all mistakes that we've made so far in our 20s. So far, you know, I've got about three more years to go. So there's gonna be a lot more. I don't even want to think about it. But anyways, without further ado, let's welcome Ty on to the show. I'm so happy that you're back on the show.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here.
This is a fun topic today.
Okay, I'm ready.
The mistakes we've made in our 20s.
How long does this need to be? Because there's a lot.
So it's actually a 7-hour special.
Also, we're still in our 20s.
Yeah, and there's mistakes to be made. I texted Dom last night because I was like making my list of things, you know, I wanted to share with the class.
Yeah.
And I said, hi, I'm recording an episode with you on mistakes I made in my 20s. Like, can you think of any that I maybe would forget? You know what she said? And it was crazy. This is all you know. She is so nice, but so delusional.
Yeah.
She said, hey, Diva. I'm Diva. I really honestly don't think that you've made any mistakes besides maybe dating like one specific guy. She's like, but other than that, like I really can't think of anything. And I was like, okay, you're either the best friend in the world or the worst friend in the entire world.
Or the most delusional person I've ever met.
Delusional, yes. Best or worst, up for debate. Because that was a crazy response. I said that to a friend. They're like, yeah, I've got like 7 for you right now. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really glad I didn't also ask my best friends that, because I think there would be a lot of tough love had.
It would have hurt your feelings.
And I think I maybe would have received a list that I wouldn't want to share here today.
Totally. Okay, wait, I did make a list though, so.
I started to write them down and I was like, I'm just going to have to give them off the cuff, because writing them down by myself in my studio apartment really was dark. Yeah.
It was really dark.
Wait, how old are you?
26.
Are we the same age? Okay. So
how old are you?
1 year older and wiser too.
So you have a lot of wisdom to give me.
Lots of wisdom.
Lots of wisdom.
A lot more mistakes than you, I'm sure. You're a lot more wholesome than I am.
That only recently.
No, I feel like maybe at least aesthetically, like you're a lot more wholesome. I feel like I'm more feral.
Yeah, I've had my years.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay, I'm ready to
I've
hear.
definitely had my years. Mistake number 1, binge drinking in general.
Hello.
Number 1, that is what I would actually like to start with. Binge drinking is so dark. It makes your face look awful. It gives you the worst
Why do you think I look awful
hangovers.
today? I just got back from EDC Las Vegas, mama.
Okay, that
I
was
haven't
crazy.
slept in days. I haven't had water in days. I haven't had food, sleep deprivation, food malnutrition, alcoholism. Like literally, I woke up this morning and I was like, wow, this is what 27 is. You're hungover 5 days later.
Yes, exactly. And that's my issue with binge drinking, is that like my hangover started lasting. At first it was, you know, just 6 hours. Then it was like 16 hours. And then it was like 16 days.
Monday,
like,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Yes.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then you start again.
Yes. And then it's like you're perpetually hungover.
Yeah.
And it's just so dark. Like I had to give it up. I had to learn that like if you just do like, which this is like pretty much next to impossible for me even today, as I live my grandma lifestyle, 3 drink tops. Like
at that point, I might as well not drink. I'm sorry.
No,
Call
but,
me
like,
an alcoholic
literally.
if you want. Sorry. But
Literally.
like,
but that's the only way I don't feel sick the next day. That's the only way I feel good for the next day, and I don't lose my days.
Yeah. I've just
It's
accepted that, you know, we're 27, we're hot. Like Kylie Jenner said,
fair.
these are the years we're supposed to have our tits out.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be out in pools, on boats, on the beach, drinking. And until someone wants to lock me up and give me a ring and some children, then I'm going to be doing that. Because guess what? What else am I going to do on a Friday evening? Sit at home and cry by myself? Or go babysit my friend's kids? No. You're going to go to a bar and you're going to hope that a guy's going to meet you at the bar and see you across and buy a drink for you.
Yeah, and fall in love.
Yeah, it hasn't
and
happened
get down
yet,
on one
so.
knee and propose.
Exactly.
And until that happens, it's none of my business.
Exactly.
You
Do you
know?
go out?
So I used to go out
literally every single waking moment that I could. Like, you know, when there's like a night that friends don't want to go out and I'm like the only one that wants to go out, it would like set me off.
It's rude.
It's like, think about me for a second.
It's like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Sit at home?
Literally. So then I hated that and I would go out for years every night that I could. And then I just like turned into my grandma lifestyle and I found peace.
Yeah.
And now I'm just, I do go out though. Like
I'm still looking for the peace.
Yeah, no, like keep looking for the peace. Like eventually peace will find you.
Yeah.
I believe that. But I don't go out like nearly as much as I used to.
Yeah.
But again, like I'm sure like summer will come up. You know, when I really go out is like fall and winter. Like that is when.
Interesting.
Because it's Texas football season.
Okay.
And then it's cold and I'm cozy and I have
so
cute
funny.
outfits.
Oh, I'm the complete opposite because I'm pale.
Yeah, well, I'm
and
fake tan, but
I'm eating a lot more. I'm not in my hot girl shit. California, summers.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't catch me inside for more than 25 minutes.
yeah, but that's different because it's like really hot in Texas. So like
True.
I'm just tired and like I don't.
Yeah.
Also like I travel a lot in the summer, so like if I'm home, I'm like exhausted,
Yeah.
and then you know, so like my season changes. But like fall, winter, that's where I am.
Yeah.
Another mistake that I have is like my dark brunette hair in my 20s. Like
We can't even talk about hair. We can't even talk about hair.
Just getting a little bit too sensitive. Horrible. Look, at one point, like in college, like random girls, I would let box dye my hair. Like, what the fuck was I doing? And my sister is a like colorist,
Yeah.
so she's like getting that out of my hair.
Yeah.
Took forever, literally forever, and then like it just looked awful. It looked good when I had like my LA hairstylist doing it, and then for some reason I don't know what I was doing. And it just like wasn't the vibe. I get DMs all the time being like, we like miss your brunette, blah, blah, blah.
You're
I'm
like,
like,
shut up.
no, literally. I'm like, nope, we don't.
Self-sabotaging, that's what you're doing.
And those people hate me. They hate me with their core. They wake up in the morning and they're plotting my demise from the second they wake.
I could literally have a coffee table book of the different amount of hairstyles that I've had throughout my whole life. Growing up, like my parents didn't let us do anything. Like I grew up super religious, Mormon, and the only way that I could like express myself was with my hair. My parents were like, if someone on God's green earth has that color of hair naturally, you can do it. You can cut it however you want. You can do whatever. Like I wasn't allowed to dress like super girly or whatever. Oh, mama, I used every box dye up and down that L'Oreal hairstyle. Literally, I would like kind of trick them. Like it would be like black hair, and I'd be like, oh, like someone has this. It was like black blue, and it turned out blue. It was heinous. But then what I've learned is, you know, a lot of people call themselves hair colorists. And what you need to learn is not to trust everyone that you come in contact with. Some people say they're a photographer. They're not going to take good photos. So why would you trust them to take a photo? Just because someone says they are a hair colorist and they will do your hair for free, don't go to them. Do not go to them.
They'll do your hair for free.
You should be paying.
Yeah, you should be paying.
When I was 18, I had just come out of the closet and I was like, I'm coming out. I want the world. Like I was ready to express myself. I was ready to, you know, go to my first Pride. And I let my friend, who was currently in hair school, who was going to do my hair for free, bleach my hair. Because every gay person, when in midlife crisis, bleaches their hair, you know, bleach and tone. When I tell you, I'm surprised I still have hair on my head today, 10 years later. I kept telling her, I was like, it's feeling really itchy. Like, it's really hot. Like, it feels like my scalp is on fire. And she kept trying to have, like, small talk with me or whatever. And I was like, I'm so sorry to do this. She, like, we were friends. Like, I've known her for, like, 10 years. I was like, I actually can't continue talking because, like, I'm gonna cry. Like my head hurts so bad. That probably should have been the sign to wash it off, you know, the bleach. I woke up in the middle of the night that night. Like it ended up looking fine. Like I thought it looked good. I didn't know what my scalp looked like at that point. I went home. I woke up in the middle of the night. I thought my scalp was bleeding. I had liquid, like pus, blisters all over my scalp. Literally pus running down my head. I thought my scalp was bleeding.
Oh my God.
So that's probably mistake numero uno.
That's big. But so like you went to Pride shortly after with like scabs all over your scalp? You were a hat or like just let it out?
I don't know if I will show you a photo or not. Maybe I will, and maybe I'll let you post it on the story so that the listeners can see. But in the moment, like I just thought like, oh, it looked cute, and now I have like bleach blonde hair, like whatever. And you couldn't really tell. Like you had to really like get in there to see, but yeah, it was really dark.
It could have just been like a statement.
Yeah.
You know, that's like what you're going for.
Exactly. Yeah, it was like dyed in there, you know. That's kind of a thing now. People put like designs
No,
in
they
their
do. They
bleach.
like stain their scalp.
No, literally. It's like
so you started the trend.
Faces. I mean, that, suspenders. I've been starting trends since I was 12.
Yeah, of course. It's light work.
Yeah, and then shortly after that, I shaved my head.
Oh.
Mistake numero 2 in the 20s. And literally, I don't know what I was thinking, but I think, you picture like Zac Efron and all these like hot boys, they shave their heads and they look like masculine and cute. After the shocking discolor, the bleach, I was like, maybe I'll just shave it and then let it grow natural because then it's gonna be healthy. Like my hair was fried, it was straw. I should have just kept the straw. I already went through all the pain. Now it was pain in a different level.
Yeah.
And nothing you can do to fix it. Let's just say I wore hats for a few years. And then I didn't get a haircut for literally 3 years. I grew it out to here.
Oh, so you went through like
I was
extreme.
Traumatized.
You were so scared.
Then people said I looked like Caitlyn Jenner and I had to shave it again. And it was just like, like I said, my 20s they've been rough.
I mean, that is tough.
The hair, there's so many other colors in between all of those that I could get into. But let's just say I'm a survivor. No, and I've made it out.
I feel like growing up is realizing that your natural hair color looks better on you. Unless you're JC.
Unless you are JC Smith.
Unless
literally,
you're JC.
My mom always told me that. She's like, God knows what he's doing. He gives every person the perfect thing. And I always thought, shut up, Mom. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm prettier this color. And every time I go back to my brunette hair and I'm like, oh, that bitch is right.
No, it's tough. And by the way, I have like blonde hair. I'm not even blonde, but I'm dirty blonde naturally. Like, as a kid, my hair was a lot lighter. Okay. So I feel like that's a little different.
What color would you say my hair is? This is my natural hair.
Do people say dirty blonde and that's what you're asking?
My friends are convinced I'm blonde. I'm like, this is brown hair.
Okay, I thought that way growing up about myself as well. Like I wanted to be different. I wanted to be like, no, I am a brunette girly. I am blah, blah, blah. And I look back and I'm like, bitch, it was dirty blonde.
Like, it's literally brown. Like it is dark. And it constantly, like if my hair gets, you know how your hair gets a little darker when it's dirty?
Yeah.
So my friends will always, like if my hair's a little dirty, they'll be like, oh my gosh, did you dye your hair? It's so dark. Did you dye it brown? I'm like, my hair is brown. My hair is brown. Look at the birth certificate. My driver's license.
Honestly, I kind of see it as dirty blonde. Oh my gosh. I kind of do. I mean, I get it because I was you.
It's not even that I care. I'm like, I'll be a dirty blonde, but I'm like, but I know I'm just not. Like, I see the roots.
It just like really bothers you that the worst thing when I was actually dyeing my hair like dark brunette, when you have light hair and your roots grow out, it starts to look gray.
Yeah.
It was awful. And like my schedule, especially in my early 20s when I was in LA, I was gone from my house from like 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. Oh, no. I had no time to breathe. I had no time to do anything. I had no time for anything outside of like school, work, what I was doing, right? Yeah. And so I barely had time to get my hair done. I would keep my car. People would have my car. You know, when that got fixed probably 16 months later, I had no fucking time and I couldn't not have a car. Yeah. So like nothing that was like upkeep in my life that I needed to get done was happening. And so like my hair was just not, like I look back at so many things and I'm like, girl, like use an ice roller, like find an ice roller. Like Lauren should have really come through a little bit earlier on that one. She was a little late. Like there's so many things that I just let go. Mm-hmm. That I shouldn't have. Like, you know, when you're stressed and you have way too much going on, like your face is puffy. Yeah. Like my face was puffy. Like I don't actually look any different. I don't weigh any different. Like it's not like that. It's like my body was inflamed because of the stress because I had no time to do anything. Is
there one thing that you did that you wish that you did it sooner in your 20s? You got your chin done?
Yeah, but honestly, that wasn't like an insane insecurity.
That's kind of how I am with I got veneers, but I got them, I guess I was like 18. Like, how much younger could you be to get them? But I'm always like, well, put them on sooner. Like, no regrets. Literally changed my life.
No, I would have gone blonde sooner. That's what I would have done. Yeah. I would have like gone closer to like my natural.
Yeah, I wish someone would have said, put the hair dye down.
And get the box out of your bathroom. Like, that if it comes in a box, that was so insane of me, especially as someone with a sister who's a hair colorist and extensions girl.
It's rude.
Yeah, like seriously, how disrespectful could I have been when she was doing my hair? She's like, honestly, just so you know, like other clients, I won't even take if they have boxes.
No, dye. Yeah, thank God. I have had people now, thankfully, like in LA, there's so many good hair people. I wanted to go black, like maybe like 2 years ago. I was going through it again, and my hair guy was like, no, because your roots will grow in and they'll be lighter and it'll look like your hair's thinning. And let's face it, I'm a 28-year-old white guy. Like, my hair's already thinning up there. It already ain't looking good. So he was like,
are you going to Turkey?
No. What?
Will you go to Turkey?
Oh my God, I thought you said, am I a turkey? I said, gobble, gobble. No. Oh, mama, gobble, gobble. I'm going to be flying over to Turkey immediately when I have the funds, when I have the time, and when I can be out of commission for about 6 months. Because once again, I know what I look like with a shaved head now. And I'm scared.
Wait, that you have to...
you have to shave your head.
Oh, I did not know that.
Or else I would just be bald up here and just have a mullet in the back.
Oh, you shave your head for the surgery?
Wear a hat. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's pretty obvious.
Oh, no, they have to shave the back because that's where they get the hair from. It's really dark. I'm really scared.
But you'll
and
be
a lot
there.
of people will be scared.
Yeah.
But I will do it.
Okay.
But while I'm there, I'm kind of like, I don't know. Take a little this, take a little, bring this out, maybe a little, I don't know, do it all.
I know, that's what I keep thinking. I'm like, I really want to get air sculpt on my arms again. And I'm like, I don't need to get so much done. And then I'm like, who fucking cares?
No, who cares?
Who cares?
If you got the money, then do it. Which I don't have the money, that's why I haven't done it yet. But the thing is with a hair transplant is it's kind of like a facelift. Like they say, like the earlier you do it, the better. And you kind of want to do almost multiple because you don't want people to ever know that you did it. Like people aren't like, when did Brad Pitt get his hair done? He just always had nice hair. Because I'm pretty sure he's probably done it multiple times.
So you think that Brad Pitt had a hair transplant?
Absolutely. No 60-year-old white guy has a full head of hair down here. It doesn't happen. Unless you're like Italian or like Middle Eastern or something. Like, you don't have that. Sorry.
Do you feel like most men in Hollywood have hair transplants?
Yes. Just got one done.
You can tell.
Yeah.
You just know. How do you know?
Trust me. Look at him. Photos from, where was it? I think it was either the Met Gala or, no, the Super Bowl. Super Bowl, like 2020 or 2019. Mama. Recession, mama. 2008. That was uncalled for. I apologize. That was feral. I'm sweating. Allegedly. I don't want Jimmy to
he
get
has
sued.
a hair transplant.
No, but then he just posted a photo like recently, and his hairline is literally like down here. It's looking like Teresa Giudice. I'm like, Mama, you didn't have that 3 years ago. Sorry, did not have that. Yeah, everyone gets one, and I will get one, and that will not be on my list of regrets.
Yeah, that's fair. I think something that's just safe to say. Another mistake that I made in my 20s is pretty much every single person that I've dated. I would say that relationship was a mistake. With all due respect to all parties involved, it's not necessarily always personal. Sometimes it is.
Mine's very personal, and it should be offensive to all parties involved except for me. How many people have you dated in your 20s? Because I think I've only had, guess what? Uno.
Oh, so we're going after
Uno amigo.
Uno amigo. Very offensive.
I've had only 2 relationships. The other one I was like literally 18, so.
And it was just like you had come out and you.
Yeah, I was like a baby and whatever, but.
Yeah.
So I can't be judged for any of that one.
Like 3 or 4.
Okay. How long, like, did they last? Like, what was your longest, I guess?
Like a year or so. Not like crazy long by any means. They did enough, though. There was enough damage there.
Yeah.
And I think more than that, though, if I'm going to take any ownership in this situation, which is, hard to do, I would say I continuously, even like not even guys that I was in a full relationship with, like situationships, whatever, I made the mistake time and time again of dating friends. And the bad thing was, it wasn't that you lose the friendship. It's the fact that I would have never dated that male if I met him in a dating situation.
Right.
I got too close. I got too involved. I got too invested. Yeah. And then I was just down so bad and emotionally invested. So they got me when I was down, if that makes sense. Like, I would never have dated these people if I wasn't in that like proximity with them, if I was in my right mind, if I was in a stable, sound mind.
Right, like we're already friends. I might as well like.
Literally. It's like, well, we're here.
Yeah,
like, it was just like, so dark. If I had better boundaries with these guys as friends, there would have been no romantic relationship.
I have no boundaries with guys. A guy will give me a compliment and I'm like, fine, sure. Like, do you want to date? Like, because I get so few. I get so few compliments. So few people show interest that when one does, I got to go for it. And guess what? That's why I've only had one boyfriend, because only one person did show interest. And my advice to people in their 20s, or anyone, this advice goes to anyone. Don't go back to them. Like, if you break up, you're only allowed one redo. And even that is pushing it. I
didn't even think about this.
That's my mistake. My mistake is literally, people will continually show me who they are, and I will continue to go back to them.
Yes.
And they do the exact same thing.
Yes.
Literally, it'll be like 2 months with no communication, and then they'll come back, and I'll be like, okay, like, are you ready to date? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, then never speak to me again. Yep. And then 2 months later goes by. They reach out, they wine and dine me, they do all this. I'm like, okay, so you're ready to date? And he's like, no. I'm like, what are we doing? What part of don't communicate with me unless you're ready to commit? But then I do that for 3 years, and then I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm the loser.
No, that's like so fair. That is real. I'm a recovering like benefit of the doubter. That is like what I'm in jail for right now, currently.
Yeah. Locked up.
I love to justify or make an excuse for someone, friendship-wise or relational. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what. If you have 2 eyes and you breathe, I am making an excuse for you. Okay, like, and that has gotten me in such lows, and like, oh my God, honestly, even more so, like friend-wise, I need to like, I need to like make my circle a little smaller at times. But the benefit of the doubting, I mean, it needs to go. That is my problem, because I will be like, well, no, this happened to them as a child. So like this makes sense that they would respond that way, and blah, blah, blah. And you don't understand. And the way my friends are like, it doesn't matter. It's like, I'm like, well, you fucking grew up with no issues. So like, of course you wouldn't understand it. And then I'm like, no, like horrible.
I know that. I feel like that is kind of the hard thing with dating these days, is like, at least for me, like in my friend group, most of my friends are like married, having children, buying their houses or whatever. And so when they give me dating advice or they try and judge me on my mistakes, I'm like, listen up, little bitch. You don't know what it's like out here in these streets. You've been married for 10 years before social media, Instagram, DMs, liking a story. What does it mean? Like, what? You don't have to deal with that anxiety. You never had to deal with that anxiety. So you don't get to tell me about my anxiety, about what it means that he liked my Instagram story. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
No, it actually is crazy. And you are surrounded by the marrieds.
It's Babies R Us over here.
It is serious. I was at a baby shower for you basically this weekend. I thought you were going to be there.
So sad I couldn't be there. But alcoholism, totally. Sleep deprivation. Absolutely. I was partying. I was at EDC.
Absolutely. And you'll have your time.
I'll have my time.
Yeah, you really are like surrounded by that.
It's crazy. Literally
and they don't have normal dating stories anyways.
And also add on to that, I'm a homosexual. So they also don't get that whole layer to it. I'm like, you don't get it, okay?
It's so layered and they can never understand.
I know, my life is just so hard.
It is so hard. Maybe though, if you were to like listen to them.
Oh, 100%.
Things would work in your favor.
They're speaking straight facts. and I'm making absolutely horrendous decisions.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so I would say boys we've dated, mistakes.
Yeah, mistakes. All of them. Every single outfit I've ever worn.
Every outfit I've ever worn before 2 weeks ago. Mistake.
Some would argue mine right now is maybe a mistake. Ask me in 2 weeks, I'll probably do
2 hours.
Literally.
2 hours. Literally. I'll do you better. 2 minutes, honestly. Honestly, following trends, I feel like has been the worst. Like anytime I dress in like a more like classic, it's just always better.
I will say, I don't think I've ever really followed a trend, which I probably should have. Looking back, I try to go against the grain and try to be like different, and like I like to be extra. And looking back, there have been some eras that deserve prison. Once upon a time, not long ago, there was a couple called Kim Ye. And I was obsessed. They were iconic. And during this era, there was a lot of fur coats. And
I went through a fur coat era too.
Me, as a 18-year-old skinny little white boy from Provo, Utah, decided to also indulge. The fur coat stage spanned through the bleach hair, the bald hair, the brown hair.
It saw you everywhere.
I had red hair, rented an owl for a photo shoot. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. Add that to the list of regrets. One time I wanted to do a photo shoot and I rented an owl off of the street that I saw in Park City. I don't know why.
An owl is a bold choice. Well, I just rented a rooster.
Oh my God. We're like kind of the same.
No,
except for that was cute.
It's a little different.
Yeah, that was cute.
An owl, how did it not fly away?
No, I had to pay a trainer to come with it. It was like
a handler.
It was shocking. Add that to the list of outfits that were terrifying. I wore this like Zara woman's dress and I like wore it backwards, so it had like a deep V-neck. There was no chest hair on that chest at that time, mama. There was nothing to be showing in that V-neck except for bare white skin. That was before I add that to the list of regrets. Not spray tanning sooner.
Amen. I couldn't agree more.
Don't look at my spray tan today.
Well, also don't look at my hands ever, by the way. But no, honestly, I spray tan pretty much my whole life, but like not spray tanning in moments that I needed to. Honestly, just regularly, like twice a week. And like just that is self-care and that is self-love.
That is why I know when my mother said that God does everything right and God gives everyone the right hair color, the right eye color, the right whatever. That is how I know that statement is incorrect, because God did make a mistake giving me this pale, super freckly, very hairy skin. It's not cute.
God fully made a mistake by I'm so pale. Like if God were to just have like, you know, maybe tweaked a few things, it would have made my life a lot easier.
At least give me the opportunity to tan, but I can even tan naturally if I wanted to.
My grandmother's name is Maureen Delaney and she has red hair. So do you think that I've got any bright future there? No. Like none at all. Matter of fact, I regularly get sun poisoning. All right? Regularly. All right? I can't tell you even as a young child, the amount of times I'm at the beach, oh, so cute, so fun, whatever. No, sick, done, out. You're gone. Literally, you're gone for like 2 weeks.
My only hope is when my freckles start to get so much that they connect, and then I just look like one shade darker.
Yes.
But it's so sad because I have 6 kids in my family, and half of us super pale. Half of us so tan.
Oh, you should have ate them in the womb.
Half of us are blonde, blue-eyed. Half of us are brunette, brown eyes. The brunettes can't really tan. The blondes obviously don't. If I'm gonna be part of the pale ones, at least give me the fucking blue eyes. But no, I got shit for eyes. I got brown hair. I got the pale skin. Other people in school were thinking my sisters were Mexican because that's how tan they get. I'm pale as shit, but at least give me beautiful blonde hair and blue eyes.
You don't ask for much.
Rigged. I do not, and I'm the only gay one. Talk about God making mistakes. Shit.
In a Mormon family, too.
Literally. He's like, let me give this one a little flavor.
Literally, he wanted to spice it up.
Literally.
No, I feel that way about like a lot of things, but honestly, like really my paleness would be like the number one.
Yeah.
Do you know how much easier my life would be? Like I'm even thinking about this weekend. I am having like a pool day at my house and then we're renting a boat the next day.
The amount of scheduling when you have to schedule when you do the tan and then how long it's going to last. And if you're going to be in the pool for multiple days at a time, or if you're going on a beach trip, how are you going to tan in between the days? Because you're going to start that trip very tan, but guess what? You're going to leave Sunday morning looking very pale.
You know, and more than that, honestly, you're going to get in the water for about 2 seconds. That tan's gone.
And that water is murky.
Yeah, not to mention that. That's the least of my concerns.
Literally.
I can't even think about the water.
Oh, it's so sad.
It's sick. It is sick. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna tan morning of, and then I'll tan the night of, and then maybe even the morning of again, and just layer up on it.
Literally.
And then maybe I'm in charge of the boat thing, so maybe I'm not even getting these people fucking the rafts. Maybe we're staying in the boat. We're not even getting in the water.
Oh my gosh, that's the one thing. Were your exes ever weirded out about? Like, did you ever like sleep like in a bed with them with tan on? Because my ex would always be like, "You don't need it. Like, you're beautiful without it." I'd be like, "Shut your fucking mouth. You don't know if I'm beautiful without it because you ain't never seen me without it."
My ex clearly hated that I was pale because never once made a comment. He was like, bitch, you're ugly.
Cool. Awesome.
Well, I would only use the ones that like didn't smell.
Yeah.
Because
I don't care about the smell. Whatever. You smell like fucking B.O.
Yeah, and let's talk about that.
That's
actually so true.
And you look like shit.
Next time your boyfriend complains about your self-tanning smell, just tell him like he smells like shit anyways.
Like they smell like literally, or either they smell like B.O. or they smell like Old Spice, and that's not much better.
Yeah, that's true. Pick your poison.
Unless you're into B.O. Some girls like that. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. My girlfriend from high school loves a little man stench. And some gays like that too.
I've literally never heard that in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I just have like kinky friends.
Oh, yeah, I've literally never heard that. Like that just like could not be me.
Oh, no. Fresh linen, mama.
I put in caps some outfits and then it says most outfits I've worn.
The immediate contradiction.
Yeah, like, I think I was trying to be nice for a second.
What, like, phases did you go through? Like, did you have, like, a goth phase? Did you have, like, a girly phase? Like, what were your phases? Like, I had, like, a fur coat era, and then I had, like, a really gay era, like, only wore women's clothes, free people, like, boho, booty shorts, crop tops, like, T-shirts with, like, popsicles on it, like, super, you know, like, woohoo, gay pride. Then what other phases did I go through? I tried to block them all out, honestly.
Yeah. But in therapy.
Yeah.
This is undoing like thousands of dollars of therapy right now.
Yeah. I got you, girl. We got each other.
Yeah. For me, like clothing wise, I'm just trying to think. I mean, a lot, definitely like edgier. Like when I was living in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I think like me dyeing my hair darker and like trying to be more like edgy. Like that was like the Top Shop days when Top Shop was like it at the Grove. And the fits were just not fitting. It was just not, it was not the vibe. And I was like dyeing my hair darker. I think I was trying to like separate from my Texas self, which is my true self. And I was just going further away. And now look at me.
No, literally yee-haw.
Literally yee fucking haw, you know? So that was one. Oh my God, I wore like the Fila white sneakers. And that was really dark.
JC went through a huge phase of that too.
That was dark. We were in it together, I'm sure. Honestly, I mean, just like everything that I wore. Like I wouldn't even say like different, there was different phases, but like I think too, it also came down to like I really had no time for so many years that I had to just like wear, and I was like a college student.
Right.
I had to just like wear what I had, which was so not fun.
Yeah. I think what really got me in trouble is trying to dress above my means. Like, look, I was trying to attain a lifestyle or like a aesthetic that was like the Kardashians or all these celebrities or whatever.
And then it's like Fashion Nova.
And it's literally that. You guys are lucky now. Guess what? Back then, there wasn't no Amazon.com Jeffrey Bezos, okay? To your house in 24 hours. It was literally Topshop, ASOS.com. And that was before it got like big or cute because now they got bought out. But I was just trying with way too little a budget and it really was not giving.
I wish I would have just stuck to like the basics. Like
that's what I mean. Like stick to what you can afford and to what you know.
I had this one like really shiny gray metallic-y looking bag from Rebecca Minkoff that I loved. Like I wore that thing into the ground. I will to this day, I haven't seen that bag in at least 4 years. I haven't worn it in maybe 5 or 6. I will meet girls to this day that will come up and be like, oh my God, I've been watching you forever. They're like, I bought that bag because of you and I wore it for years. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And it's not even the ugliest thing that I've worn by any means, but it's like, I feel unfortunately as though it was the most influential for whatever reason. And that I feel for the girls.
Yeah. I will say, like, I do look going back at like a lot of my different like fits or hairstyles or whatever. And at least I can say I was fucking trying.
That's
and I was
true.
trying to be different. And I was finding myself because guess what? That's more than any of you hoes out there can say. Half you hoes still fucking let your mother dress you. And it shows. Like, at least I was out there trying new things, expressing myself. Like, in the moment, you couldn't tell me nothing. I thought I was fierce. I thought I was working it. And I look back and I, like, can see that energy, like, within myself. So there's a part of me that's like, you go, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I would never wear that now. And then I look back on it with disgust. But, like, I'm proud of you for trying.
I see where you were going with that.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You landed the plane.
Because then I'll see celebrities, like, kind of, like, do outfits that are very similar to what I was wearing, like, 6 years ago. And I'm like, okay, see, so you actually were kind of onto something. Yeah. You just really didn't do it right. And you didn't have the budget to do it right. But like you kind of, you had the thought.
And sometimes being ahead of your time is a curse.
It
Seriously.
Really
and being a trend starter is tough. Okay.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you for
really, really tough. Taking myself too seriously.
Oh my God.
That, first off, okay, take the stick up your ass.
Literally.
Like, you're fine. But just taking things too seriously. Like, girl, you're 23. Like, nothing that you're doing right now is going to, like, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't
And it's
matter.
so annoying because, like, people told you that it didn't matter back then.
And you're going to listen. And no one listening to this is going to listen to us.
Exactly. No one wants to hear that. And the people that need to hear that can't even receive it. And people told me that all the time and still tell me that. Like, it's all, you know, go on conversations with my friends about anything, relationships, money, this, work. And they're just like, oh my gosh, this is so not a big deal. Like, don't even worry about it. This won't matter to you in 6 months. Trust me. And I'm always like, no, you don't understand. Like, this is consuming my life. I'm losing sleep. And then 6 months go by and I'm like, why didn't I listen to my friend? So I don't know. It's just hard to see in the moment, but
there's nothing more embarrassing or vulnerable than when you're honest with yourself and you look back like 3 years ago at the guy that you were upset about.
It's
so telling and it's so dark. Like, it's just so dark.
If I could punch someone in the face, it would be myself.
I agree.
4 years ago. Yeah. Like, the amount of time that I wasted on old, ugly, stupid individuals that literally meant nothing and mean nothing now. Like, literally, I could see them on the street and I wouldn't even blink an eye. And it's like, oh, I just wasted 4 years of my life on that? Like, it's so crazy. But I don't know, you almost can't beat yourself up over it because it's like, well, you learned so much from that, so.
Yeah, and everyone has to go through it.
Yeah. No, it's so true.
What's the, like, largest age gap you would do?
Well, that's hard to say. So my ex was 15 years older than me. But, okay, this might be exclusive to the pod.
Ooh.
I've never talked about this, like, publicly because it's, I don't know. I was not told that he was 15 years older than me when we were dating.
What?
I found out mid-relationship.
How'd you find that out? A license?
Yeah, we went to a music festival together, and I was holding his license in my wallet, and I went back to give it to him, and I was like, that birthday seems really far away from my birthday. Like, I knew he was older than me, but like I thought he was like, how old did I think? I thought he was like 10 years older than me, which is still like a big gap. And like I thought that was like a thing. And he was like very insecure about it. And then I did the math and I like went back into the room and I was like, do you have anything to tell me? And he was like, I never told you that I was blank age. And I was like, you think I just pulled your age out of my asshole? Like, yes, you did. And you've told that to all of our friends. Like all of our friends think that. Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, you just don't get it. Like, you'll get it when you're my age. So I was 22 and he was 37.
That's wild.
And now I wouldn't do 15 years because that would make them, I mean, I'm 27. I'm about to be 28. What would that make them?
Like 80.
Fuck off. He's like literally like 45.
28, 15, 43.
43, okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm not dating a fucking 43-year-old right now. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, not that that's old at all. And like, maybe I would if it was the love of my life or he had like a lot of money. But
Either or.
That's just like, oh my God, you could have a 22-year-old child. Like, that's just not gonna happen for me. But also, that was just a very, very toxic situation. And so I'm like scarred from that scenario because he made the age such a big deal. Like I was not, like I still dated him after that, even after I found out he lied. But he was so insecure about it. So I don't know. I just always would feel like if I dated someone older than me, then they would like look down on me or they would be insecure about their age. But I don't know. I would probably do like 10, 11 years.
Yeah, I've done 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And, nothing's worked out so far. So.
Yeah.
Who's to say what's wrong or right?
Would you ever go younger than you?
I mean, I don't, maybe. I like, probably not.
Yeah, because it's different for like
a girl.
Hetero, straight people. But it's funny because I always said no. Like I always said like I wouldn't even really want to date someone my own age because I've always felt older than my age. And then now that I'm getting up there in age, I'm starting to feel younger than my age. And I'm like, shit. Like now like the thought like of dating a 26-year-old boy, what do you mean? Like, you don't know what you're doing in life, but also I'm like, well, neither do I. So I don't know, maybe I would. I'm like closing myself off to a ton of people, but the thought of dating someone younger is so scary. Like the thought of dating someone who like graduated high school in like 2011, I'm like, jail.
Actually.
Or if you were born after the year 2000, see ya later.
My best friend Macy was born in February of 2000. And when I realized that.
No.
It was...
How is that even legal?
It was tough. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. You're not allowed to be friends.
It's literally not legal.
I go out to the bars now, and you'll have to let me know if you feel this way. Like, I go out to the bars, and I'm like, oh, I'm a groomer. Like, I'm out here. I'm out here in these streets. Like, I need to go home. I need to be locked up. Like, this is disgusting. Like, I literally feel inappropriate being in this room. It's a ton of like 21-year-old little Twinkie white boys that just moved here from whatever hometown in the Midwest that they're from, and they're just out here taking shots, ripping shots, whatever. I'm like, you need to put a shirt on and go home and call your mother. Like, I'm like now turning into literally a grandpa. And I'm only 28. Like, I'm so scared. I'm like, if I don't find a husband soon.
Your age has changed like 17 times in this episode.
Yeah, because I'm trying to confuse the audience. No, I'm 27. I'm about to be 28. But I'm like, if I don't find a guy soon, I'm not going to be able to find him at the bar because it's going to be weird if I'm at the bar.
Yeah. Well, I think mistake number 17 is trying to find the guy at the bar. I think that's probably less likely. I think that was a different generation that worked for. I haven't heard that word. I literally do you know any couples that met at a bar?
No.
Me neither.
But I refuse to go on the apps. Like, what are you? How are you finding boys?
I'm just not.
Exactly.
So I am on the apps, but I'm not like active. Yeah. And then sometimes like I'll meet someone through friends. Here's the thing, like the
through friends thing needs to be discussed because here's the thing. I feel like in movies you always see like, oh my gosh, let me set you up with a friend or blah blah. You always hear these stories. Well, I must have the worst fucking friends in the world because guess what? They ain't doing shit. Not one has ever tried to set me up with someone. Not one has ever suggested anyone to me. Send me up, hook me up. You ain't got a brother. You ain't got a gay cousin.
Yeah.
Help me out.
Well, here's the issue, though, when you set up, like, if you're setting up, like, gays. Like, if your friends don't have gay friends, they meet one gay guy, and they're like, oh, perfect, just because he's gay.
No, it's and like, then what am I going to do? Yeah. Bump bottoms? Like, it's not going to work. You got to know
They don't understand the politics of it. They don't get it at all. They need to be in it, like.
No, there is nothing scarier as a gay person than someone actually trying to set you up and being like, oh, my gosh, like, I met this guy. Like, you guys would be so cute together. And, like,
it's because
you don't want to tell them. Yeah, it's literally just because he's, like, gay.
And you don't want to explain.
You don't want to be like, well.
What
is he the boy or the girl in the relationship? Because not that there has to be a boy or a girl. I don't know.
Well, I think
this is also why I'm single. So because toxicity, okay?
No, it's tough. It really is. And listen, I agree with the whole like friend setting you up thing because friends don't set me up with people either. I don't know what that says about us.
Like, if I was straight, like, we would be married. Like, how are you single?
So
like,
true. Like, no, we would
you're
literally
so
be
hot.
married.
You're so successful.
Oh my God,
like, you
thank
own your own
you.
house. You have
Thank
your own
you, thank
business. Like, I
you.
don't get it. I can't say the same for me. Like, I know why I'm single. I'm ugly. I'm out of shape. I'm an alcoholic. I live in a studio apartment.
I don't think so. You have like the best personality in the entire world. Like, you are the funniest,
Thank
coolest
you.
guy ever. Also, you're very successful. So like,
I mean, I wouldn't say very, but I like have like a okay podcast and I like take selfies for a living.
same. I get that. No, like I'm hoping that this is the year. I think I deserve it this year. Like this is the year.
I've been saying that for a lot of years.
I have too. It's been dark. Yeah, but the whole friend thing, like I am looking for new friends. I have like 2 friends in my life. Both of them are actually married and I'm like friends with like the couples.
Yeah.
And like those people I want, really it's just 2 people who are married to each other. I want them to set me up with someone because I trust them. They would know like the kind of guy that I like and then we can just double date for the rest of our lives.
Right.
That's kind of my plan.
Yeah. Do you feel like you went through like a lot of friend groups in your 20s? Like, do you have any like regrets with your friendships?
So yeah, I do in the benefit of the doubt type of way.
Right.
A lot of my friends are like, I'm a floater. I've always been a floater. So
Interesting.
I have
Like, you have
friends.
a lot of different groups?
Yes. And I've been that way my whole life, but I definitely have groups within that. Like my group at home, like it's mainly that like I put them together and like because I'm the one who makes the plans. You know what I mean? Not that like I handcrafted their life, but like I invite the plans. So a lot of them I've like been friends with since I was like a kid too.
Cute.
So I have a lot of friendships that I've had for 10 plus years. Like those are the majority of my like really close friends.
Yeah.
Give or take a couple. My college years, I would say that was my lesson that I needed to learn. Friendship.
Are you talking about the Christian college in Los Angeles?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yes, unfortunately. And no, I'm kidding. All due respect, you know. No, I think what I needed to learn in regards to friendships there, and it is a lesson that I'm constantly going back to, is you need to look at the patterns in someone's life. If they hate everyone they've ever been friends with, if they talk shit about every single friend they've ever had, they are the problem. It doesn't matter how cool and nice and fun they are.
If they have a new best friend every 3 months.
Yes, and exactly. They're gonna do it to you too.
Get ready, bitch.
Yes, so it's like, Kenzie, sorry, you shouldn't have been shocked. Sorry.
Yeah.
You really shouldn't have been like, so like, what happened? Like, no.
100%.
It was written in the stars. It was literally right in front of your face the whole time.
100%.
So that was a huge thing because it's like the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, no, these people suck.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, like actually, if like someone can't keep a friend or just goes back to the friends that they nonstop talk shit about, they are the problem.
Right. And what I realized, like, I feel like in my mid-20s, like a few years ago, is like, and people always say this, but you truly are who you surround yourself with. And you kind of slowly evolve. You start talking the same and acting the same and doing the same things and wanting the same things, which can be really good if that is a healthy person at a healthy point in their life. But you might be in the best place in your life if you are with a toxic friend who drinks too much, spends too much money, you know, talks shit about people. Like, you're going to slowly evolve into those same habits.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're like, who am I? Like, I don't want to be like this. But now I've invested so much in this friendship, so it's hard to just walk away for no reason. It's not like we got in a fight or anything.
Also, I feel like if you're living in a city and you hate where you're living, like watch who you're hanging out with. Because if they hate their life and if they hate the city that they're living in,
right,
like you might actually like it. You just have a friend that's like jaded your whole
100%.
perspective on it. Like they are so influential. And I just made like a lot of mistakes due to lack of boundaries.
Yeah.
And like wanting to be like, it's like I like them. Like I'm such a people person. So like I really like most people. It's so rare that I don't like someone. Like if I don't like someone, you should literally actually listen to me. Like honestly, like it's so rare.
Yeah.
But like what if I don't like someone? Like you should pay attention.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
totally.
And also on that note, even though I'm completely contradicting like whatever I'm saying, just because like a friendship, I'm literally completely contradicting what I just said.
I love
fully.
playing both fields.
But like just because a friendship or a relationship doesn't work out between 2 people, it doesn't make both those people evil people or either one of those people
100%.
bad or evil. Like sometimes it's just not meant to be as like a friendship.
Yeah, unless you're the other person in my situation.
Yeah, unless it's like with us and you're the wrong one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unless you're not me, then like you are in the wrong and you are an evil person.
Totally. But other than that, like honestly.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think I had to learn that even within relationships, like I can sit here and laugh and joke and like talk shit about every ex or every guy I've ever talked to or whatever. But if I really like in a mature way sit down and think about the relationship, it's like trust me, I ain't no cookie to be around sometimes. And like, I've definitely made a lot of mistakes and been young and immature and anxious and like reacted poorly and texted and freaked out. And, I've been the wrong person in multiple situations.
I know it's shocking.
Yeah, I know it's
it's hard to believe.
Very hard to believe that can be
happened.
toxic. But it's easy to like reflect on relationships and only remember what the person did to you and be like, yeah, F my ex, whatever. But then if I really sit down, I'm like, okay, my ex isn't a bad person. We just weren't right for each other. And Lord knows I put him through the ringer for many situations as well, too,
Yeah. It's a little, sometimes we can be wrong.
Yeah, and sometimes you can reflect on that, but it's easier to just focus on that.
Yeah, it's easier to say it was their fault. So,
exactly.
Think
That's
about
self-help. That's self-preservation.
That is self-preservation.
Literally.
Like, I've never seen it before.
No, literally. Why would I focus on what I did wrong? Let's focus on their issues.
You.
Literally.
Yeah, I think too, like friendships in like your adult years, it sounds really weird, but it's like almost more of like a decision. That like we are going to be friends, we will stay in each other's lives because it ebbs and flows. You're in different experiences, you're getting married, they're having kids, you're not doing that, you're single. Like everyone's in such a different space in your life. Your friendship's gonna ebb and flow and you're gonna be closer at certain points, not talk as much, you're gonna be closer. Like you have to just like let people live their lives.
I'm going to butcher this because I'm so bad at repeating things that I've learned. But I saw this, I can't remember if it was like a TikTok, a podcast, an article or whatever. It wasn't an article because I don't read, but I just like to throw that in there.
Say it was an article and then it was a TikTok.
My favorite thing is to say like, oh, I read somewhere and it's like, you definitely didn't read that. But that like life is full of relationships and everyone always focuses on the big relationship, like your marriage, your partner. And people always say like marriages take work. And it's like, okay, yeah, but that's one part of your life and that's one relationship in your life, but you have other soulmates and you're gonna have these relationships and these friendships. Those also take work and those also take nurturing and, you're gonna go through hard things and whatever. And you have to choose the same way that you're choosing to be married to someone. You have to choose to be in a friendship with someone and like show up and be there and whatever. But the same way you have to go through a lot of relationships, like love relationships, you have to go through a lot of friendships to figure out like what you need in a friendship and what your love language is with a friendship as well. Because I think a lot of people just beat themselves up. I do a segment on my podcast called French Tips, and a lot of people write in newly like out of high school or college and they're moving towns or their friends are, being rude to them and they're just like, what do I do? Like, these are my only friends. I'm in a small town and whatever. I'm just like, you will be fine. Trust me. I know it feels like the end of the world. I've been through so many different friend groups. And every time I felt like this was going to be like my bridesmaid, my groomsman, and I'm so devastated, almost maybe even more than when I broke up with someone that I thought was going to be, someone I was going to marry. Because you think that this person is going to be your life forever. But after it happens a few times, you realize like, okay, you learn from every friendship, you learn through every relationship, and that person isn't a bad person. We are just not meant to be friends.
Yeah, it's also really normal to go through a lot of friends in your 20s.
100%.
Your life is changing a lot of friendships in your 20s are like circumstantial. It's like we're in the same phase of life. We're in this wedding together. We're working together. It's similar. Yes, it's different because you can technically choose who you want to spend time with versus like growing up, you literally are friends with like your classmates, you know?
Right.
But it still is very circumstantial.
Totally.
And it's so normal and you're evolving and changing so much. Like it's really normal to switch friends. Like,
totally.
It's normal.
Do you feel like, sorry, I'm changing the subject. Do you feel like you had things in your 20s monetarily that you regret?
Wait, I definitely have stuff. I mean, me and my shopping.
Like, I feel like that's like I feel like a lot of people like obviously don't really talk about money, but in my early 20s, and I feel like this was a very like rare thing, but this is probably one of my biggest regrets in my 20s is I became really successful very early on in my career and I made a shit ton of money within like a 2-year span. And no one had ever taught me about anything. I didn't know anything about taxes. I didn't know anything about investing, retirement, whatever. And I was self-employed. So it's not like my employer was like taking out my taxes or putting stuff in a ROI or whatever. And literally I just blew it all.
Yeah.
Like I went through so much money on absolute crap. I can't even tell you what I spent it on. It's not even like it was like a handbag that I'll have forever. It's like literally crap. I didn't pay off my car. I didn't buy an apartment. I rented an apartment that was way too much out of my budget.
I was going to say my rent was what I regret the most.
And it's like, what the heck? But I wish someone would have sat me down and been like, listen, be smart, invest, do this, like tuck stuff away, have savings. Just because you have money does not mean you have to spend it. But when you grow up without money and then you get money, you're kind of like, sure, now I get to spend it. Now I have all this money. But that's like probably in a serious manner, like my biggest regret from my 20s is just not being smart with money.
I would have started investing and saving earlier. I always kind of saved, but I was living in LA, so it wasn't like I had like a ton of money left over to save. Yeah. But saving and investing, and then also my 1-bedroom apartment, I spent so much money on just like my 1-bedroom apartment.
How much was it? Do you mind saying the rent?
I think it was like almost $6,000, and I was like 19.
Mine was $4,500.
That's sick.
I'm sick. And also, keep in mind, I was living in this 1-bedroom apartment that was absolutely stunning. It was built in like 1920.
Oh, I know.
30-foot ceilings, like stunning. That's when I was dating the 40-year-old. He lived in a studio apartment that was about 100 square feet. I thought I was dating an older man for money. What the hell? I got gypped. I got an old man lied about his age and he got no money.
God, that's dark.
Now I ain't got no money. No, but
4 more years to live. Like, damn, that's
literally.
dark.
Fucking kids, save your money, please. Listen to grandpa.
Okay, well, we'll keep talking on his show because we're doing a swap and we would just continue on and on and on forever. But honestly, after saying all of our mistakes, I feel like we have none. We made none.
After laying all my embarrassments out on the table, please go listen to Tyrants.
Yeah, no, please, seriously. Where can they find you?
My podcast is called Tyrants. It goes live Wednesday and Fridays. And then you can follow me on Instagram at TyFrench.
Love, obsessed. Thanks for coming.
Love you. Mwah.
Love you.